Now it's time for Forum Daily's weekly energy update with Dan McTeague, president of Canadians for Affordable Energy. Take it away, Dan.
Well, hello, Teresa, and Happy New Year to you and our entire audience. 2025 is with us, and with that comes, of course, a resettling of the markets. We're already starting to see big rallies. Markets are now starting to say, well, maybe there won't be so much of this ESG stuff, and maybe we can't continue using the excuse of Chinese demand or the suspicion that EVs are somehow going to take over gas powered engines anytime soon, especially with the United States saying no way to EV mandates. Americans are not going to be forced into vehicles. And I suspect a new government in Canada is going to follow the same way. So what we're looking at is a recorrection of market attitudes. Not only are markets now being told you better invest in oil and gas and other things, or you'll hit antitrust sanctions, we're now starting to see large banks in the United States now moving away from their ESG woke mandates, and their woke capitalist approaches have completely crumbled in front of them. Has news for in Canada as well, because of course it means that Mark Carney's Glasgow Financial Alliance on net zero is going up in smoke. Unless Mr. Carney and his friend Michael Bloomberg and others want to face significant, serious, predictable antitrust sanctions, which of course we don't have here in Canada because they have a lip-wristed kind of society institution in which the flavor of the day always goes for something. The reality is that these large banking, financial investment institutions are being told you better back off and you better start lending and you better not pick and choose and play this green game, because if you do, you're going to be faced with some significant fines and penalties and even criminal sanctions. The Americans mean business. They broke Rockefeller's back a century ago. They'll do it again, and they've done it many times since. So that aside, it really means that gasoline prices have nowhere to go but up. And yes, we're a couple of weeks away from the Trump administration and President Trump putting his hand on the Bible and, of course, being sworn in as the next president. With that will come sanctions on Iran, will come sanctions on Venezuela, and the games around, subsidies towards green things are simply going to disappear. And with colder temperatures, it looks like perhaps arguably the coldest we've seen in many years. Some are suggesting 30 years. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. I'm not a weather expert, but if we can't predict prices, weather in a couple of months, how the heck we're going to predict what they're going to be in 10 or 15 years? That's the climate nonsense that we've had to face for the past few years. Thankfully, that's coming to a serious end, not only in the United States, but right here in Canada. The sooner, of course, the better. What it means is that gas prices in Canada are going to continue to rise, as will diesel. We've seen diesel move up about 8 cents a liter across the board across Canada since the couple of days before December, Christmas Day. And of course, we're looking at the possibility of gasoline moving up another 4 or 5 cents a liter this time next week. So look for an average of $1.58.9, meaning Vancouver, you're back to $1.85. Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton, $1.35 to $1.42. Edmonton being the cheaper part. Saskatchewan, of course, always stays firm, but will move up a little higher. Manitoba, of course, saw the restoration of the 14-cent gas provincial sales tax. That's going to go up another 3 or 4 cents a liter to about $1.43. Ontario, $1.58. Quebec, $1.68 in the Maritimes. But you're looking for another 7-cent increase on the gasoline side this time next week. That's it for this week, Teresa. Lots to talk about as the year goes on.